Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guiltless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and do I have something interesting to talk about today? As you can see on screen, the title reads UK lobbies for trans rights in UN treaty, but allows term pregnant women. Now, originally I was going to be reading an article from the Sunday Times. As I was going through it, I got about a quarter of the way, and I got hit with an ad that said, "Please subscribe to continue for £1 a month." Well, since I honestly believe that the newspaper is a dying medium, I'm definitely not going to be subscribing to a newspaper website, especially for £1 a month. So I looked up similar articles, and I found this one from The Guardian. Now, this is actually an article that is responding, kind of, to the article from the Sunday Times. But let us dive into it, shall we? The UK government says it has lobbied for the rights of transgender people to be protected in the UN treaty, but that it has not objected to the use of the term pregnant women, as suggested in previous reports. There have been calls by campaigners, backed by the British Medical Association, for the expression pregnant people to replace pregnant women, so that it does not exclude trans or intersex men. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Men can get pregnant too. Oh wait, that only happens in seahorses. Now, we're dealing with biology here. Now, I understand that a woman who transitions to a male and keeps her ovaries, her womb, and her lady bits wants to be identified as a man. But if that woman can then get pregnant as a man, she's not a man anymore. She's a woman, regardless of what her identity says. Now, I'm not talking about gender identity. I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about the biological truth of the matter being, you have a vagine, you have a womb, you got pregnant, you are a woman. That's going to piss a lot of people off. I don't care. We're dealing with biology here. Over the weekend, it was reported that the Foreign Office had written to the UN urging it to make the change to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which states that the death penalty should not be carried out on pregnant women. I understand that. They don't want to kill pregnant women because the children, it's not their fault that their mom is a violent criminal. So it makes sense. But they're not arguing that the woman shouldn't be killed. They're arguing that the woman shouldn't be called a woman. That's completely and utterly asinine. But a Foreign Office spokesperson, you are assuming their gender. Shame on you, Guardian. But a Foreign Office spokesperson said it had not asked for the contentious words women or woman to be expunged. The UK does not object to the use of the term pregnant woman, she said. See, you are assuming her gender again. It's Z or Zer, XI or XR. It makes it so much better. It's completely stupid, but this is what they want. We strongly support the right to life of pregnant women, and we have requested that the Human Rights Committee does not exclude pregnant transgender people from that right to life. There have been 2 known cases of transgender pregnancy, according to the Times. 2. 1, 2. That's it. They are harping on a word because of 2 people. Those 2 people who, to my knowledge, were not criminals going to the gallows to be hung because they're pregnant, transgendered, gay, whatever. Those 2 people are why they want to change pregnant woman to pregnant person. Out of all the women that have been pregnant in the UK, 2 of them are transgender women to men who kept everything and all the plumbing down below. and they want to change an entire policy about it. This is what we are talking about from our side when we are saying censorship. You see, we're not talking about you making us shut up. We're talking about you forcing us to speak a certain way. You want to police what speech we can and cannot say. You want us to be prosecuted for wrongthink. Two persons out of all of the pregnant women in the UK are what we're talking about. The proposed replacement of the term pregnant women has met with some resistance, including from some feminists, surprising, who believe it undermines their sex. Writing for the New Statesman last month, Victoria Smith said that gender neutrality shifts the focus away from gender as a means by which female bodies are controlled and problematized bodies themselves. I think she made up that last word. Basically what she's saying is if you take away the term pregnant women, you are then erasing women as a gender, and, well, Victoria Smith, as a feminist, cannot stand for that, because it then erases women. They're devouring themselves. It's great fun to watch. It's just the pain it causes within my cranium is enough to drive me mad. But for you folks, I will continue. The Foreign Office intervention comes as figures published on Monday show that the number of children who want to change their gender continues to rise. Children. I'm going to continue, and I want to get to the numbers real quickly because I have something to say about this. Between April and September this year, 1,302 children, 50 a week, were referred to the Tavistock and Portman NHS Trust Gender Identity Development Service. GIDS. I don't know how you get GIDS out of all of that, but okay. According to figures obtained by the Mirror under Freedom of Information legislation, they include 82 children under 10, among them 2 4-year-olds. The overall number of referrals is more than a third, 35%, up on the equivalent period last year when there were 965 referrals. However, GIDS, the UK's only specialist NHS provider of gender identity support for under 18s, noted that the rate of growth was slowing. In 2014 and 15, there were 697 referrals, and in 2009 to 2010, just 97. Children under 10, 82 of them under 10, and 2 4-year-olds. I'm sorry, the parents of those children are the reason these children want to transition. This has nothing to do with the kids. This has to do with the parents. I can guarantee you that if you look at the parents of those 10 children, they are transgender advocates, identity politics advocates, or some form of lesbian, gay, transsexual, otherkin, whatever. And they are putting their politics downloaded into their children. 4 years old. 4. A 4-year-old doesn't understand what gender is. It likes colors, it likes sounds, it likes certain things. Just because it's a girl who happens to like He-Man. Is He-Man a thing still? I don't know. G.I. Joe. It doesn't mean that she's secretly a boy and was born into the wrong body. It's the same thing as if a boy who happens to like My Little Pony or Tinkerbell isn't secretly a girl born into the wrong body. This is the politics of the parents being pushed onto the children, and the children have no idea what is going on or what's happening to them. And these are the people that are going to ruin their children's lives by giving them hormone therapy when they don't need it. This bothers me more than it should because it's affecting kids. If they're 16, 17, 18, fine. They're old enough to understand at least some of the choices they're making with their bodies. 10? 10 and under? 4? Are you kidding? I know a 4-year-old that I can trick into eating fried shrimp if I tell them it's chicken nuggets. Dr. Polly Carmichael, GIDS director, her name is Polly, GIDS director and consultant clinical psychologist, said if the same rate of referrals maintains through the year, we will see approximately 2,600 referrals in 2017 and 2018. This would represent the lowest percentage increase compared to the year previous since we began publishing referral figures in 2009, and may indicate that we're reaching a plateau in referral figures. Do you want to know why there's been a surge in these referrals? Blame the platform you're listening to me on now. Blame Milo Stewart, Riley J. Dennis. Blame the media pushing all of these agendas on our children. The children don't know what they're seeing, and the parents are completely unequipped into explaining to them that this is not the norm. It is about 1%. 1% of the population. Now, there are differences in hormone levels. There are more feminine men, and then there are masculine men. There's also very feminine women and very masculine women. There are lesbians, there are homosexuals, there are all of the flavors in between, but they are not the norm. Now, this next portion from Dr. Polly is a cop-out. There is no single explanation for the last 10 years increase in referrals to our specialized service, but we do know there has been significant progress towards the acceptance and recognition of transgender and gender-diverse people in our society, coupled with greater knowledge about specialist gender clinics and support available. Oh, there's no single explanation? No single explanation that might possibly explain what's going on? Now, this actually goes against what most of these transgender SJWs say, because according to Dr. Polly, there has been significant progress towards the acceptance and recognition of transgender people and gender-diverse people in our society. It's becoming more accepted. I'm okay with inclusion. I love inclusion. Let's bring everyone together. But there are limits to certain things. Last week, Theresa May pledged to press ahead with plans to let people officially change gender without medical checks. You see, there is a mental disorder. It's called gender dysphoria, and that is where you are literally born in the wrong body. It is a mental disorder. It has to be diagnosed, and to go through reassignment surgery, go through hormone therapy, it takes years. It is painful. It is emotionally draining. But what Theresa May is now doing is basically saying, look, your 4-year-old feels like a boy today, he's a boy. Oh, I'm sorry, he feels like a girl and an hour later, he's a girl. Yes, these are extremes that I'm giving as examples, but it is still what is going to happen without medical checks, without saying that, yes, you have gender dysphoria. This is what every single Tumblr feminist transgender activist wants, because now they can be accepted in however they choose to portray themselves. It's ridiculous. Speaking at the Pink News Awards dinner, May said she was committed to improving trans rights. We are determined to eradicate homophobic and transphobic bullying. We have laid out plans to reform the Gender Recognition Act, streamlining and demedicalizing the process for changing gender, because being trans is not an illness and it should not be treated as such. Yes, it is. It is a mental disorder, and you will never, ever stop bullying. You know what? I was bullied in school. I was bullied so much for my weight that I had an older student threaten to shank me if I showed up to class the next day. I'm still here. As a matter of fact, it gave me the ability to deal with everything. Now, do I want my future son or daughter going through it? No, but I know that there is no stopping it. If my future son or daughter ended up being a lesbian or homosexual or transsexual, it would not stop how I feel about them, and I would support them. But I would also teach them the tools they need to grow a thicker skin. If you are going to be someone who is on the outskirts, looking in, you are going to be teased, you're going to be bullied, and on top of that, you're going to have to fucking deal with it. It is not up to the rest of society to take care of you. You are supposed to take care of you. Society does not give a flying fuck what you think. So, what I like to do in this situation is give solutions to the problem. Because it's very obvious from this article, they have no solutions in mind. They have plans for solution, but they don't have anything. So here, Uncle Antoine is going to let you in on a little secret about life that I've learned growing up, being bullied, being different. You have to develop a few things. One, you need to develop a sense of humor. And two, you need to develop a sense of self-worth, because no one else is going to teach it to you. The world does not care. If you can learn to laugh at yourself, a lot of these problems are going to go away. And you know what? If my future children are bullied or made fun of or different in any way, I'm going to teach them the exact same thing that happened to me. This article shows just how stupid society is becoming by listening to the vocal minority of a minority. There needs to be a solution that doesn't involve changing what language we are able to use. And that's all I really have to say. I'd love to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments. If you like what I do here, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to get notifications of when I upload, please hit that little bell icon on the side. So, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Help for the Guildless. Once again, my name is Antoine. If you'd like to follow me on any of the social medias, all of the links are down below. I'm also going to link this article from The Guardian. You can go peruse it yourself. So with all that being said, thank you for listening, and have a wonderful evening.